going to look at 3 different databases and how they use controlled vocabulary. Each system is just a little bit different. So that's why we're going to look at 3. And by the time we're done with this video, you should have a good idea of how to use controlled vocabulary to search academic databases. So in order to get into the controlled vocabulary system in PsycINFO, you click up on the top. It says APA Thesaurus of Psychological Index Terms. So we come up here and we click on that. Okay, now what we need to be searching is not the top main box, but this smaller one underneath it. So remember, when we're doing this, we're not searching for articles, we're searching for the terms. So let's start with our first term, social media. And I've already typed this earlier, so we can just click here. Okay, the first thing on the top is social media, so I can click on that. And we get a definition of it, so we make sure that it's the right thing, that this is what we want. The broader terms aren't particularly interesting to me, and the narrower term is also not particularly interesting to me. So I'm just going to add the main term, and I do that by clicking here in this small box over here, and I click on Add. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is the depression. So I'm going to click, and then I'm going to click on Browse. Okay, so what I want are depressive disorders. And see, now we see the power of the controlled vocabulary. So anything that is about depression in any way is going to use the term affective disorders. So I'm going to go ahead and click on affective disorders. And now we get a definition. And now we have a broader term, which I don't want because that's too broad. But I see these narrower terms. And I like all of these. I want to include affective disorders and all of these narrower terms. So what we do is we do a very exciting sounding thing, but it's really not all that exciting, is we explode this term. So we come over here all the way to the right and we click on this box for explode. And now we want to add this to the first term with an and. So we click on this and we select and we click on add. Now our third thing is the population, but PsycINFO deals with populations a little bit differently than other databases. So for this one, I'm going to just click on search now. And then, okay, I want to limit my search to academic journals. So now we see that we have 355, but I want to control for my population. Remember, I want this to be about teenagers. So what we do is we click on advanced search and we scroll down here to age groups and we select adolescents, 13 through 17-year-olds. This is what we want, so we click on this. We scroll back up to the top, and we click again on search. And then we come down here and we limit by date, as we've done before. Let's set this since 2020. Okay, so what we end up with are 92 results. Now that's a lot less than what we were getting by doing keyword searching. But when you look through these results, this is a very tight and focused set of results now. They're all about the thing that we're looking for. Okay, let's go take a look at the main sociology database, SocINDEX. So for this one, we click up on the top for subject terms. So let's try our social media term again. Again, I typed it earlier, so let's do that. And let's click on it to open it up. I'm not particularly enamored with any of these narrower terms, so I'm just going to add the main term. All right, now we need to search for our second term. So we want depression psychology use mental depression. So I'm going to click on this. Again, I'm going to open up the term. We can, for this case, probably just select this depression in adolescence, but I'm going to go ahead and click on mental depression for this and just add this term. Again, remember to add it with the and. So now in this case, we need to actually search for our population as a term. So I'm going to do adolescents. And now again, we see adolescents use teenagers. So if I click on this, and you get a lot of really interesting subcategories here. You could use teenage boys or teenage girls or teenage parents. All of these things are interesting. But for this case, I don't really want to explode it because that's a whole lot. And I'm just going to add the general term teenagers to our search with an and. So now we have social media and mental depression and teenagers. So I'm going to go ahead and now search for articles. And we only got 2. Let's go back and adjust that term a little bit. So let's get rid of the of our population, because I think that's what's probably only getting us 2. All right, now we get 68. So again, I'm going to limit to peer reviewed. I'm going to set it to 2020. Okay, so now the next thing that we're going to do is go ahead and take a look at the main database in the field of education, which is called ERIC. So now to get into the ERIC control vocabulary, you just click on Thesaurus. So let's search for our first term. Again, let's click on it. I'm not particularly enamored with any of these narrower terms, so I'm going to go ahead and just search the main one. Now let's try the depression. Depression psychology is a term here. Now I really like the anxiety term here, but I'm just going to search. I'm just going to search depression and add that with an and then I'm going to go ahead and search this, because in ERIC we can add by grade level. So if I click on advanced search here, I can scroll down and we'll see education level. And I want to select high schools and middle schools. I'm going to hold down on the control or the command key on Mac to select two things that aren't right next to each other. And I'm going to limit to academic or peer-reviewed journals. And again, I could set the date right here, 2020 to 2024. Let's scroll up and click search. Okay, we get 5 items. Now I'm thinking that we can probably do better than that. So let's click on advanced search again and look at those education levels. So actually, let's go just grades 8 through 12. I hold down on shift to select them all in a row, and then I hold down on command to get high school, and then I also probably want junior high schools and middle schools. Okay, let's go up now and try that. All right, 13, so better. So anyways, so now you've seen in this video 3 different systems for searching controlled vocabulary. Play around with this a little bit. I think you can probably get pretty good at it. All right, thanks for watching.